I greatly apologize. For some reason, I thought the music was playing and things would be audible, but it turns out it wasn't. So so sorry about that. I have the day off today, so I figured, and I got much of my chores done yesterday, so I've got some free time, and I figured that I would get some writing done. I've been kind of wanting to write for a while. The writing bug's been kind of like burrowing in the back of my brain. And I had a couple of stories that I wanted to work on. One is really, really old, and when I was trying to read back on it, I realized I didn't have enough information to go forward with it, so that's going to be a personal project for a bit. But this story was from my National Novel Writing Month a few years ago. Didn't really pick much momentum up on it after I stopped for the month, so I figured we'll go ahead and start on this. Today's stream isn't going to be too terribly long, maybe an hour or so. But what I figure we'll do is we will read back the last chapter or so, and then go forward from there. It's just a chill stream, no sprints, no point redeems, none of that. We're just gonna write and chat. Chat and write. So I am going to test something out real quick. Now that I am thinking about it. This is the thing that I've been working on, the points redemption stuff. Unfortunately, I can't test it while YouTube is not live. So I'm testing it. I'm testing a couple things now. It is not live. Hey, that's my voice. So, give me a moment. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I'm just glad that I was able to get that tested out. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get to writing. So let's get to it. Yeah, but first we're going to read. I'm going to be quiet as I read, unless somebody chats at me. So, excuse me. So don't mind the silence. And I will edit along the way too. Excuse me. Okay. All right, now we're getting closer to where I left off. To will the observation. Why? What does this suggest? trying to decide if I want to create another chapter. Yeah, I'll go ahead and create the other chapter. Alright. Just gotta be reminded of a couple things. Sorry, guys. Chapter 43. This campsite. There's no sounding. Need to see. There's swiping and slapping. Ellsworth. Created. Sweet. Each breath taken. Da 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 da. There's two. Turn before he could. Excuse me. Right. Computer. What the child was singing. Suddenly the fucking woman ceased, curious. onto his hands and knees. Graciously stepped into the clear. And Philip's heart sank. He recognized this man. Excuse me. Dang it. I don't know why I'm so yawny. I mean, I can guess why I'm so yawny, but I don't know why. The yawns are coming as quickly as they are. Anyway. I'm going to find the object if that was worth the most significant point. Graciously stepped. Hit right. And yet, once I shift around, I do lots of bangs. Sorry about that. He had already attacked me once. Hello. Was an accomplice. Of that other woman. I think I know you from somewhere. Hey, Suchi. I generally mostly write fantasy, but I do dabble in others from time to time. I'm doing pretty good. A little sleepy at the moment, but that's alright. Keyboard ASMR, there you go. Alright. Demon Hunter did not mean to go far. The objective. He had already I do drink coffee and I've already had my cup today. Yep. Yeah, I already attacked them once and there's no cup at the moment. Upon recognition, his eyes swept the visible area surrounding the clearing. There is no sign of her. Whether or not that other man had even recognized Philip, there was no indication. Welcome back. Yeah, I drink coffee. It just, I've already had my cup. And I don't think it would really help right now anyway. I'm not the type that, coffee keeps me up. If I'm tired, I'm tired. If I'm not, I'm not. Today's just been a pretty chill day for me though. So, that's probably part of it too. Published books? No. I might publish something later this year if I actually, finish a story. Like on Amazon or something, but actual published books? No, I don't. But thanks. Whether or not there's no indication. Actually, the other man did not even look in Philip's direction. If he knew Philip's, or even Eve, was there, he made no indication. Instead, he strode directly toward the child. Nope. Ellsworth. Yes, thank you. Set in place. Tense. Scally. That's the end. I'm going to go back a paragraph or two. Notice that he had a barrier. Of his body. Who's prepared to deal with being a child. The young man did not even look in Philip's direction. If he knew Philip or moved over him. Then he grinned. From the child. Ellsworth. Tireless. But there had to be something he could do. Yeah, I do tend to write a lot and read a lot, so just happens that way. Thank you. Thinking to his ether deprived mind, however, instead Down. What? Am I hitting the wrong button? Yeah, I am. And through mud at the larger man. Leader man, larger man. Used to be good in middle school, but suffered ever since. No, you just need to read. I mean, I wouldn't say it suffered, but you know, comics can have pretty good vocabulary too. So yeah, I mean, just read. If you want to expand your vocabulary, you gotta look for things that'll help you expand it. No. The dark brown. Slightly wet dirt hit the man in the stalked after child. Philip was helpless and could only watch. Comics don't have to describe environment, it can just be depicted through. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can still have, exposition where people can describe environments, but I mean, if you don't want to develop it, that's perfectly fine. Each their own. Dark, gross, slightly wet dirt hit the man in the cheek. He only choked and stuck after the child. So, watch. With what limited ether he currently had, he was able to stop the man. He would be suffering a similar fate to what he was experiencing. Incapacitated adults. I love powdered lemonade so much. No need to squeeze lemons to make lemonade. Just pour the powder in cold water. I mean, yeah, I'm not a lemonade person myself, but powdered drinks can be handy. I just typically only drink water, though. Although powdered orange juice is not as good as real orange juice, I will say. None of us mentioned so night. Look after him. I am things. Is it better for you? Orange juice in little amounts is better. Fruit drinks have a lot of natural sugar in it. You're supposed to eat them instead too. I mean, if you're health conscious, you shouldn't be drinking powdered drinks in the first place then. But yeah, if you're going after, the health benefits, then definitely go for the real thing than the juices. For sure. Child hiss at the man. Stay away. Teased. Hey, if I don't. This much making a tired drink of my own. It's called laziness. Yeah, that laziness disease is pretty common, I've noticed. But there's a cure for that. It's deciding not to be lazy anymore. But I just drink mostly water, so if you are really truly lazy, you can just switch to that. 14 eggs? That's definitely a lot. But if you were concerned about cholesterol, eggs are definitely pretty high in it, but they also have health benefits too, so there's worse things that you could have if you are concerned about cholesterol. Lunging toward. Arms outstretched. Ellis turned and ran further from the man. Do frequent cholesterol tests to see if it's getting better or not. I go to the gym so it all balances out. I'm young, so that's why I'll switch to whey protein when I'm earning. Well, that's good. It's good that you keep getting yourself checked out. Alright, what am I gonna say? Who didn't make any further advances forward. Instead, the man just chuckled. Shoved his hands into his pockets. Advances forward. Advance works too. We are between them. Most people think it's all about exercise and having a diet. It's necessary, yes, but you also need to know which medical tests you need to. You can't have diabetes if you don't get tested for it. That's true. But yeah, you have to make sure that you're getting the right nutrients and all that, and having biomedical tests is very important. You are correct, sir. Or, I presume, sorry, you are correct. Voice stopped and turned. There was boundary between them. Scally manned. No catch. Oh. You gestured toward you. And Philip. Without giving either of them a glance. Maybe join her soon. Daydreaming. This was just something to Martin. To actually to faux for naughty boy. Another Eden of farming Meglan's Labyrinth. I need to get the Master Tome. Nice. Not really, no. I generally know where the keys are. If I start noticing them doing a lot of typos, I might look down to readjust, but generally I don't. Squelching sound. Against pushing the code to more. Prove it. I feel a bit of group is done. He's lost. Well, he's not supposed to be likable, so I'm getting the job done. Yay. We'll continue to ignore Hidden Hunter. Focused solely child. However, then puffed his chest out defiantly at the man. Keg. Oh, lost. We'll be back. I'll let that one sit. How dare sweet to eat. Not a baby. But So the child is like 10, but very developmentally challenged due to his upbringing, so to speak. Aligning his tentative, yes. I understood that the way of speaking. Yeah, you should call those gotcha characters cute baby. Ah, got it. Okay. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. This time the man didn't get chase, instead opting to use his ether to topple a tree in front of the child, stopping him from progressing in that general direction. I know, right? Chasing kids and hurting trees. No. Into the fallen. I'll edit that later. Reacted to the man's action. Internally, he apologized to Craig and Evans. his... Watching man chase and trap the child. Summoning the last of his ether. He willed it through the earth. Through the muddied earth. And sank the man. Doing a quick check, not enough pages yet. Okay, let's see. I'll finish up the chapter, then I'll wrap it up. And sink the man down into the mud up until his torso. Sink the man down into the mud until only his arms, neck, and head are showing. The exertion nearly pushed him over the edge. Pushed him into unconsciousness, but he could feel. But he could still see, feel, and hear. The man was cursing vulgarities in his general direction. The child was running toward him. And he could feel the slender hands try to keep his head from dripping downward. I can't spell. There we go. Downward. You could hear the boy call through what sounded like layers. Layers. Once the man had stopped his cursing, his verbal tirade, another laugh came out of his burly chest. Pushing past the exhaustion and the tightness in his throat, Philip eked out a few words, audible just enough for the child to hear. What makes you want to keep writing? I just like it. I have several stories that I've got in my archive that, much like video games, I haven't quite finished. And every now and again I'm like, oh, I kind of missed going back to that world. Let me go back to that world and write some more. You know, I could do this, I could do that. And so I jump back in and I get to it. sometimes, you know, my husband and child talk about some of their favorite books, and I'm like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. Not my cup of tea. But, you know, maybe, and then as they talk, I think about my stories. I'm like, oh, well, you know, I can get into that. So, yep. I've been writing since I was a wee babe. Just nothing published. Well, nothing except for like short stories and school publications that have been published. Pushing past the exhaustion and tightness in his throat, Phil peeked out a few words, audible just enough for the child to hear. Run away. Don't let him. The last thing Philip heard was the child heard as his energy finally swept away. Was the child frantically asking, was it frantically, possibly tearfully, stating, name's not that. His last conscious thought was his hope that even with this misunderstanding, Ellsworth would still be able to escape that man and that crazy woman by proxy. I wish one day when I learn it more, I can have a more relaxing life than this. Right now, so I'll just rush for college studies and experience. Well, as an adult, I can say that, you know, when you get to work experience, depending on the type of work you do, it may or may not get more relaxing. Sometimes you've got, and it honestly also depends on what you do in life. Like right now, my kid's grown and in college, so I have a few extra time, and you know, I have time off work right now today to be able to do this. Otherwise, I would be working currently. So, you know, life is somewhat relaxing, but I had to just build it into my day, essentially. And that's why, you know, when I do my streams, I only do it, you know, a few times a week for just a few hours. I'm doing work or family things or, you know, errands most of the other time. And often when I do stream, it's usually later in the day than I expect because of, you know, those other errands. I got most of my errands done yesterday, which tired me to crap out, to be quite honest. So I have today freed up to do some of this, so. Work is more relaxing if you have finished your studies. Oh, I can see that. And again, I think it depends on like the type of studies you do, whether it's like, and I guess like it's different strokes for different folks. You know, if math is easy for you, then math is probably, you know, easier. But for somebody who's not great at math, those math studies are probably a pain. And then work, you know, if you work in a field that you love, then, or it's something that's super easy, then it's not that bad. But if you work in something that's high stress, then that's probably not as relaxing. It all depends. But anyway, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up. I basically need to eat some lunch, and I do have a few other YouTube projects, videos that I'm going to be working on. Those will be released later this year. And yeah. No problem. Have a good one. And programming languages can be fun to learn. So hopefully, even if it is just a hobby, I hope that you go far with that. But yeah, well, I'm glad I can be non-chaotic. Chaos is definitely not my cup of tea, in most cases. So I'm glad I can help provide that. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.